Hey everybody, I'm Scott and I am half of the Hiking Irishman. Sorry my brother can't be here today for this video, but today I want to talk about something that I call my Gear-volution. What's a Gear-volution, you ask? Well, it's a two-part thing. One, it's a gear evolution. I want to talk about how my gear has changed over a 25-year period of backpacking from 1995 when I first got into backpacking up to the present day. And then I want to talk about how I'm hoping that my new gear setup will be my gear revolution. I've been a conservative, kind of old school backpacker for my whole entire life, and I am finally dipping my toe into the ultralight market of my gear. So sit back and enjoy while I talk about my Gear-volution. The four items I want to talk about are my shoes, my sleeping bags, my tent, and my backpacks. So let's take a look at those four items and see how they've changed over the 25 years. So the four pair of shoes here represent basically my footwear that I've worn on trail over the past 6 years. So the only pair that is not represented is my long gone Salomon full leather uppers that I wore probably for 10 years. They are not represented. They would be here if they were. I had those boots dating back to, I don't know, probably 1995. They're not here. But they were Salomons. They were full leather uppers. Great boot. They lasted me forever. Super comfortable. My next boot right here are these full leather upper Vasks. I bought these for our trip to Rocky Mountain National Park in 2015, and they were fine, they worked fine, but these suckers are heavy. They're just way too heavy. Like I said, they were fine for that trip. I made it through, but they just felt like ankle weights on my feet. So I decided that I just didn't want to put myself through that. So I moved on to Oboz. The Oboz Sawtooth. Just a shoe. It's the only pair of hiking shoes I've ever owned, and they were awesome. I used those from 2015 all the way up until 2019. So I wore those for almost 4 years on every trip I did, from Grand Canyon to Glacier National Park, Grand Tetons, Shenandoah National Park, Smoky Mountain National Park. You named it. Those shoes there probably have 400 to 500 miles on them, and they were awesome. Actually, Acadia National Park and Katahdin is where I finally decided that they had enough. The soles on them are just worn out, and they got really slippery on trail. So that's the only reason I don't hike them anymore. Now I still do wear them around town. They're super comfortable and I love them. So I still do wear them, I just don't wear them on trail. So for the JMT, when I started doing my research for the JMT, I decided I needed a boot, but I wanted a fairly lightweight boot. So I went with the Salomon GTX 3s, I think that's what they are, or the X Ultra, GTX 3s. They were, so all my research I did, and I had owned Salomons before in the past, so I went with those. I can't say, I want to say I loved them. There's a couple things I do love them. They were lightweight. I think the pair comes in at under 2 pounds. So for a waterproof boot, that was great. They were mostly comfortable. However, I feel like Salomon has gotten very thin, very narrow in the foot, in the toe box. And I got really bad blisters on trail on my small toes, on both small toes. And I just think that was a result of the toe box being too small. And then the other thing that I was kind of disappointed in is right here in the crease where the toe, where the shoe bends, both shoes ripped. So these boots only have about 300 miles on them. And I would say that they're pretty much shot because, for one, they're supposed to be waterproof. And if you have a rip in your shoe, they're no longer waterproof. So my next pair of boots, I wanted something with a wider toe box that didn't pinch my toes. And I had long heard about Lone Peaks. I've heard about Lone Peaks from so many people, and I decided to give them a try. So I've now done 2 hikes with them, about a grand total of 10 miles. And so even though that's a pretty short, pretty small trial, so far they're awesome. I absolutely love them. They're so lightweight. They're 13 pounds for the pair, or 13 pounds, yeah, right, 13 ounces for the pair. They're super comfortable, and so far the 2 hikes I've done with them, I'd give them an A+. Next up are the sleeping bags. So starting off here, this bag is what I bought back in 1995-ish, maybe earlier, 1994 maybe. It's the EMS LT20. This bag, I still have it. Still gets used from time to time. If I have somebody that goes hiking with me, or like one of my daughters is going to use it this summer when we go backpacking, she'll just throw it down and lay on top of it. Still use it, still keep it. Can't bring myself to get rid of it. But it's heavy, and it's a synthetic bag, and it was just time to move on. Obviously, that bag weighs well over 3 pounds, probably closer to 4 pounds. So the gap in the table here is a bag that I used from 2015 up until now. That was the Mountain Hardwear Lamina Z 20 degree bag. Great bag. Inexpensive. I think it was under 180 bucks. That bag did a great job. But it came in at 2 pounds 10 ounces, I think. And it was just heavy. It was a synthetic bag. It wasn't a down bag. And I just really wanted to upgrade. I wanted to upgrade my sleep system. I already upgraded my pad from, to be honest, I can't even remember what I used to sleep on as far as the pad goes before this Nemo Tensor. I honestly can't remember. I know I had a cheap, really horrible air mattress at one point that was heavy and didn't work well, and I don't even remember what brand it was. So the Nemo Tensor is really the first air mattress that I've had that I would consider of any quality, and it's awesome. I love it. But as far as the bags go, so I sold my Lamina Z to a friend of mine. His son's just getting into backpacking, so I sold my Lamina Z to him, and I have upgraded it with 2 sleeping bags. Yes, that's right. I went from 1 sleeping bag to 2. My cold weather at altitude bag is going to be the REI Magma 15. I'm super looking forward to this bag. I've heard just great reviews on it. It's been a stellar stellar sleeping bag in the backpack community for a long time, and I'm really, really excited to try it out. The other one I got is the Z-Packs Classic sleeping bag, 30 degree bag. This is going to be my summer, late like spring and summer sleeping bag. It's only 30 degrees. The thing is super light. It is 14 ounces. So it's ridiculously light. I can't wait to use it. I'm really looking forward to a couple of the summer trips I'm going to do using it. And it's just what a weight savings from 2 pounds 10 ounces to 14 ounces. So it's a great weight savings. The Magma 15, by the way, is 1 pound 14 ounces. So you get a sub 20 degree bag for under 2 pounds. Just can't beat it. So I'm looking forward to my new sleeping bag lineup and trying them out on trail. These are really the only 2 backpacking tents that I've ever owned. This one was, again, back in 1994 or 95 when I really got into backpacking, and I bought a bunch of backpacking gear that I didn't own. I went to my EMS store and bought the, whatever it's called, Pampero. I had this tent for a good long time. I used it for probably 12 years or so on weekend backpack trips with some buddies down in southern Ohio. It was a great backpack. It was a great tent, but it's just so heavy. It's 6 pounds, and it just got old. In fact, I just found it in the attic of my garage. I didn't even know I still had it, which is why it's so nasty and dirty. So that one's, I'll be pitching it. But it was a great tent. It worked well. It did everything I needed it to for many years. And then for several years, from 2015 up until our Chicago Basin trip in 2019, my brother and I, believe it or not, shared a 2-man tent. what's crazy about that is my brother's a big dude. He's 6'4", 220. He's a big guy. So the fact that we shared a tent together for 5 years of hiking and backpacking is a real, first of all, testament to how much we get along. But yeah, we decided for the JMT that 23 days on trail, sharing a tent was not going to work. So we each got our own tent. I went with the Nemo Hornet one person. This is a great tent. I absolutely love it. It worked out fantastic. It's super light, coming in at 1 pound 10 ounces. You can't beat it. I've looked to see if there's something I could replace it with, and cannot justify spending a dime on another tent until this one wears out. It's still in perfect shape. I look forward to backpacking with it for a long time to come. So I will not be making any changes. I feel like I've got the best lightweight double wall tent on the market. So I'm staying with it. So the final piece of gear I want to talk about is, of course, the backpack. And this represents all of my backpacks since 2005. 2005, I don't know why I said that. 1995, sorry. I can get it right, I swear. So in 1995, once again, the EMS external frame backpack. Back in 1995, this was kind of, internal frame packs were just kind of making their way into the market. So this at the time was a great backpack. I used it, I used it from 1995 all the way until my dad actually used this. He borrowed it and used it in 2015 when we did Rocky Mountain National Park. He did not love it, I can tell you that. Compared to what's out there now, why anybody would use an external frame, I don't know. But it served its purpose for a long time. It was inexpensive at the time when I bought it. It was what I could afford. The internal frame packs at the time were outrageously expensive. And quite honestly, they were just as heavy as this. So that's why I went with it. But when we did the Rocky Mountain National Park backpacking trip in 2015, I upgraded to the Osprey Aether 60. Great backpack. I used this backpack from 2015 all the way to 2019. And I had actually planned on using it on the JMT. I was set to use it. I had no plans of upgrading my backpack. But at the last second, I found this guy on sale from a website, some website in California, I don't know. But they were selling it for $200. This is a $270 pack, and they were selling it for 200 bucks. So I got it. I decided to upgrade. It's the Atmos AG65. So I use this on the JMT. This is a Rockstar backpack. I mean, it is durable as can be. You can throw this thing off a mountain and it's going to hold up. It's super comfortable. It carried a heavy load easily. I was always comfortable with this pack. But it's heavy. It weighs in at just under 5 pounds. It's like 4 pounds, 10 ounces or something like that. And as I get older, I'm just looking to cut weight and drop weight wherever I can. So that brings me to my newest bag, the Z-Packs Arc Haul. So this baby comes in at a whopping 21 ounces. I have hiked with it twice now, and I am super excited. It's very comfortable. I've had 20 pounds in it and did 5 miles and never even noticed it on my back. So I'm super excited to get on trail and do some backpacking with this. I think it's going to really, really revolutionize my hiking and just make my time on trail much more comfortable. So I'm really looking forward to it, the Z-Packs Arc Haul. So there you go, guys. That is my Gear-volution. Over the course of 25 years, a lot of things change. A lot of gear evolves and changes, and you got to be willing to change with the gear and not get stuck thinking one way is the only way. This ultralight bag is a real departure from what I'm used to, as you can see, from what I'm used to. So maybe at the end of the summer I'll do a gear review and let you all know how it went. But I'm really looking forward to my new gear setup. The main reason I wanted to make this video is primarily for those of you who are just now getting into backpacking, and you're going to watch a ton of gear videos about what gear to buy and what's out on the market. And the problem is a lot of that gear is really expensive. And my daughter right now is looking at me like I've lost my mind because I'm making you get out of here. Now I got to retake.
Starbucks.
So the main point of my video was for those of you who are just getting into backpacking is you're going to go on YouTube and you're going to watch a ton of videos about gear. And most of the videos that you see are going to be talking about really expensive gear, top of the line gear, because that's what we love to talk about. Us backpackers, we love to talk about our newest, greatest stuff. The problem with that is that if you are just getting into backpacking and you have no backpacking gear, you could get overwhelmed by, one, the expense of it, and two, just the sheer volume of gear that people say you need. I want to caution you against that. Go out, go buy gear that you can afford. Don't worry about getting the top of the line, most lightweight backpack. There's plenty of backpacks out there that they're fine. They're quality backpacks, but they're not super duper expensive. You don't need a Z-Packs, arc haul to start backpacking. Don't do that to yourself. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that you need the most expensive, lightest, best, greatest backpacking gear. Go get your basic gear. Go get basic stuff that you can afford. Go out on trail. Use your gear. One, find out if you like backpacking. The last thing you want to do is drop $1,500 on gear only to find out you don't like backpacking. That would be silly. Don't do that. Go buy yourself affordable gear, good shoes. I would say the only thing I would say is don't buy crappy shoes. Buy good shoes. If you're going to spend money right out of the gate on anything, buy good hiking shoes, because that will end your trip faster than anything, in my opinion. So good shoes is the only thing initially I would spend a decent amount of money on. Everything else, you can upgrade it over time. As you fall in love with backpacking, like I did, you will upgrade your gear over time, and eventually, when you're comfortable and you're sure that backpacking is the thing you want to do, then upgrade your gear and move up to the next greatest, best thing. And then you'll become a gear junkie like me and everybody else out on YouTube. So go out, get yourself some gear, get on trail, fall in love with backpacking. It'll change your life. For me, backpacking is my happy place. It's where I go, and I'm most happy when I'm on trail. It's a great thing. So get out there, get on trail, and thanks for watching. Hiking Irishman, out.